What is going on with Star Wars? That seems to be the major question lately because pretty much everything we've been seeing lately is absolute either garbage or just not sticking to the lore or I don't know. There's a lot of stuff out there that's just been really bad. Andor was good. The first two seasons of Mando were good. Bad Batch has been great, and now that's over. Acolyte looks absolutely horrendous, and honestly, I don't know. There's a lot going on with it. Let's talk to Mike from the Spider's Lair. What are your
Yo,
thoughts?
yo. One of my thoughts. I don't know. Do you remember me telling you this a couple years ago? What my thoughts were? So
Yep.
let's see. Full circle. If you guys look, honestly, watch the old shows because I already said how this was all going to turn out. Especially with the Mandalorian, I said they were going to screw up season 3. So why? That's the question. I already know the answer why. Let's see. George Lucas sold his children, according to
Yep.
George Lucas, because Star Wars was his children. But I guess you
I
gotta sell
will
your
say
children.
he is 80 years old. So, I mean,
I
he had to pass
Yes,
the torch
that's
at some
true.
point.
No, I get that. So then stay passing the torch. Don't be
Yes.
sitting behind an entire board and costing people billions of dollars for your opinion. Shut up. I always say this to the talent. When it comes to the money part of this aspect of making anything in life, when it comes to like money, if your politics or your ideology is going to cost you money, I think the best thing to do is just not to say anything
True.
because it's a business at the end of the day. And like you said, he is in his 80s, absolutely. And he shouldn't be like this. Like it's like you're like you sold your company, but you still have a foot in it. Not
Yeah.
really, but whatever. I mean, it's like if I wrote my own comic, and you guys know, um, and I just decided to sell it to Marvel, and I'm standing there and just watching Marvel bastardize
Yep.
what I created, which is why I would never sell. This is for
Yeah.
legacy for me. And I understand George Lucas wanted to spend time with his kids. I get that. Because if you think about Star Wars, if a lot of people don't really understand or know the background of the entire story, it's pretty much George Lucas's letter to his father. It's
Yep.
like a father son. It's pretty much about his dad, how he felt about his dad. Like his dad was the evil empire, and he was the rebel soldier that just wanted to be free, away
Yep.
from his constraints of his father, wanting him to follow into his world of financial business. I believe that's the family business at the time. So he just didn't want to follow that, and I get the metaphors about it. So I get him also like passing this on as he's having his own child. But now your child's grown and you're just like sitting here and it's like, I mean, I get it. It's not yours anymore, and I get that. I just feel like once it was sold, uh, like I knew I was like, oh man, I have a
So
feeling they're gonna destroy the
he
law,
say
and that's what's going on.
he did say before he passed the torch that there was no
Hmm.
789, there was no episode 7. He later on did change his mind before selling. He did say there are ways that I've thought about it and I could see us doing an episode 7. um did he need to have an episode 7? Of course not. I never
No,
thought that Star Wars needed to continue what they had already finished. I thought episode 6 tied everything up nice with a nice little bow and left it at that.
yeah,
I never needed to know where
yeah.
Luke went after that. I never needed to know where Leia went after that. Now, is it nice that we get to find out where Luke goes? Hell yeah, I'd love to see where Luke went. But I don't need to see it in a bastardized version of it. I want to see
I
it
like
done right.
I like to see where Luke goes. I just didn't want to see Luke wind up being a hobo on a planet drinking out of a tit of
Exactly.
an alien, some green freaking
Some
a
green milk.
milk while throwing away his lightsaber. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that's the bastardization. So when you have
With
things like
no
this going,
backstory either. No
right,
reason as to
there's
why he
no
got
reason
there.
why. Right, no rhyme or reason. Just here I am drinking this green milk from the tit of this
Yep.
alien and no backstory.
Yep.
So that's what you start to see. If you really start to look at why Disney flopping? Everything they tried is to bastardize the past.
And
And
the
think about it.
actors don't want to be there.
No.
Han Solo, they killed him off right away because Harrison Ford did not want to reprise his role. I don't know for a fact about, oh geez, who plays Luke? Um,
Mark
why can I
Hamill.
not think of his name? Mark Hamill. Thank
Mark
you.
Hamill, yeah.
Um, Mark Hamill. I don't think he wanted to reprise his role, but he was good. He was game for it for the right story.
Right.
And obviously, you can't do much without him if you're going to go the Skywalker route.
Right.
So that left Leia. And obviously, sadly, um, the actress who played Leia is no longer with us. And that is what it is. Like, there's no way to get around that. And then they tried to
Yeah.
get around it. Like,
I mean, once
everything that wasn't going to work for them, they were going to figure out a way to make it work for them. And that's the
yeah,
problem. They didn't need
I
an
feel one
episode 7. They needed another lightning in the bottle movie like Rogue One.
yeah. And you mentioned that, and I actually did enjoy Rogue One quite greatly because at that point in the view of the Empire, from where you're looking at it, the Force is more of a myth
Yeah.
than a reality because you're so low down in the rankings
Mm-hmm.
that you never get to see what is actually out there. So for them, they're just at that level. That's why I liked Rogue One because
Yeah.
it took away all the elements of the Force and let you look at what a regular humanoid alien would be going through at this time
Yep.
from their perspective, from their lower perspective. And it's not
Yep.
saying that they're lower in standing, it's just saying that as far as the Galactic Empire is concerned, everything they're hearing now is just myths and legends.
Yep.
Maybe someone saw Darth Vader choking somebody using the Force choke, and they're talking about it. The squad just like, look, you heard about this guy, and they're like, no, we don't believe that. Like it's myth at that point.
Yeah.
But I do like the premise, and that was one of the better Star Wars movies before they bastardized the rest of the franchise. And I just believe it's like this. Look, when you're thinking about empowerment and then you're hiring Harvey Weinstein's former assistant to do like an entire show, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, I don't understand, like, what do people think's gonna happen? Like, are people supposed to forget like the past? Like, why? I mean, really, first of all, this chick has no business making a show. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what business does she have making a show? Other than the fact that she could say, yeah, I was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. I have no idea what that has to do with knowing anything about Star Wars. But
Yeah.
this making the Force females what's killing everything
So,
because it was never about making the Force female. There was two chosen ones always. It was Luke and it was Leia.
yep.
Now Leia, I mean, like she was literally in space and
Yeah.
survived with a freaking shield. She shielded herself with the
Yep.
Force. Now, this is the vacuum of space, people. Like the vacuum of actual space. There's no
That takes a
air. There's no
lot of
atmosphere.
force.
That takes a
Literally.
lot of force power to
Yeah.
do that. So that goes to show you the magnitude of how powerful this female was. But
Yep.
you're still worried about the force is female. The force has always been female.
Yep.
That's the problem, is that you guys are trying to push something that you don't need to push.
Yeah, it's
See,
already been there.
people like me
Yep.
understood exactly what George Lucas was trying to say in every aspect of how he wrote this movie, metaphorically, spiritually, like what, like
And
even in stages, like in
yeah.
stages of society, like he knew how to set a story up. The problem is that you have a lot of these new movies and they're trying to force like their view. You don't need to force anything. The message will come loud and clear. Just stick to making the story
Yeah.
interesting and good. That's all you have to do.
Exactly.
It's
And
not hard, people.
the biggest thing about this is that you have these amazing characters. You've built these characters up, and then you've got people going, oh, well, in the originals, Leia was turned into a slave. And it's like, that wasn't because she was thought of as a lesser person. That wasn't because that she wasn't good enough or that she
No.
needed to be like that wasn't damsel in distress like it is in
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man
Right.
is the
Right.
perfect damsel in distress version of a female character. Mary Jane, every scene that she's in, she's yelling, screaming, and a damsel in distress. Leia wasn't that way.
Hmm.
She was always strong.
No.
They always portrayed her that way. Yes, she got put into slavery for Jabba, but it wasn't so that, or it wasn't like she was in slavery because of this or that, and we had to make sure that the woman wasn't seen as powerful. No, it was, hey, how can she, a powerful woman, get out of this? And it pushes the story
Yeah.
forward. It doesn't, it's not just a damsel in distress for damsel in distress sake. Yes, obviously she was in a gold bikini and that was every boy's fantasy back then. I never found her attractive, so I don't understand
Oh
that
yeah.
portion. But I
Well,
like I'm sorry, I never
I mean,
found
like,
Leia attractive.
well, I'll put it to you like this: like, if you ever see the pinup, like the original pinup, then you would
Yeah.
understand because like there was no chick around back then that was wearing anything even close to that. So it was just
Okay.
something that was like, yeah, a little skinny for my taste too. But I mean the layouts, she done it. They were stunning. I'm not gonna lie, they did a real good job with. And I'm talking about where she's standing on the sides and you can see the
Yeah.
slave dress that she's wearing. But also remember that she allowed herself to be captured so she could work within, so
Exactly.
that when her brother came, she would be able to assist him.
And
So
she
yeah, so
knew.
all these women that want to make these strong, independent women, and no, listen, they work together, and
Yep.
that's what it's all about. It's not about being strong and independent. It's about being strong and working together.
Yeah,
See,
everybody wants to
I'm
collaborate,
a
but when it
strong
comes to
man that works together with other people.
But when
And
it
that's what
comes to
makes me
this
a stronger
agenda
person.
that people are trying to push, it's let's push the strong, independent woman, not the woman that's been on the screen, that's strong and able to fight for herself and collaborate with others. And we don't need
Yeah,
all these other
yeah,
women. Like we don't need that. We don't need um this crazy outbreak of every character is female and everything is completely gender swapped and race swapped and all that. We have amazing female characters to use. There are plenty of amazing female characters out there. If we would
yeah.
just
And
take
like,
from what's out there, like Ahsoka was the perfect version of this. They took Ahsoka, they moved it, and they changed it so that you could tell a story with Ahsoka because she was a very underrated character in Star Wars lore. And
the
season 7
the
of
only
Clone
problem I'm
Wars
really having, yeah,
broke her out of that shell.
I like, yeah, I like her in the Clone Wars. But when it comes to the show, I have a major problem with Ahsoka. And the major problem that I'm having is that it's almost like as if anyone can wield the Force, and that's not the case.
True.
It has nothing to do with your training. It has nothing to do with how you're born. It has to do with the midichlorians that you were born in. That's what. That's it. If you
Yeah.
don't have these midichlorians, you cannot wield the Force. Ahsoka's making it like, well, first of all, especially at that freaking abomination Obi-Wan crappy Nobi. Literally, people are taking freaking lightsaber lances through their anatomy and
yeah.
are surviving.
Yep.
Boom! Shizzle.
See, and I'm
That's
putting
the
out a
like.
short tomorrow.
That's
That's
where
why I
you.
wanted to talk about
Yeah,
this.
good.
Because
So I'm glad I brought it up. See,
yeah,
read your
like
mind well.
there's
So
way
that's
too many
exactly how
people
I'm thinking.
surviving right now from lightsaber wounds. Qui-Gon Jinn, one
No
of the
one. I'm.
strongest Jedi of his time, got
Yeah,
stabbed in the abdomen and died
yeah,
because like
and
these
died.
lightsabers are burning hotter than the sun and they're
They are
stabbing through a
burning
person.
plasma.
Yeah,
Right.
they stab through a
It's
person and
burning
that burns
plasma.
everything around it. It's not just an in and out thing.
It incinerates the freaking um whatever it touches at an atomic level. It
Yeah,
incinerates it. That's it. It just literally sears it to cauterize and kills anything instantly it touches. That's
Yep.
exactly what the lightsaber is supposed to do. Not sit there and get stabbed and you're like, oh, I recovered because my heart's on the other side. No, you'd be dead no matter where it struck you.
Yep.
If you're lucky and it struck you on your arm, you may live, but you'll suffer. But you're
Yeah.
supposed to be dead. And I think, like, from my own personal perspective, so this is just me speaking for me, but I'm pretty sure I can, what I'm about to say may resonate with a lot of older fans as well. But you are trying us now, the people who have the most money. See, I get it. There's a generation coming, but they're not getting the money yet. Technology's going to keep these people alive another 10 years. So you got 10 more years before you got to worry about that.
Yeah.
So you have literally an entire generation, my generation, that grew up as kids with this stuff, that have disposable income. And you're just like, you know what? Man, I just, yeah, we made these guys fall in love with their stuff when they were younger. So now we just go to this audience and start spewing nonsense. And that's where you lose people, because people understand that there is a certain continuity that can be found. No one say you can't add on to the story and make it new. But when you're trying to do these stories and you're not making any sense of what direction you're going in, coming from, like, I just need some direction. And it's too convoluted and confusing. There's no lore, there's no follow. I mean, like, all this new stuff is almost like as if one writer is trying to outdo the other writer somehow, when you all
Yep.
should be working together. I mean, you know, I just see Kathleen Kennedy as just like, she killing this thing and ain't no one gonna take her out. I don't care what anybody says. They've been following Kathleen Kennedy for the last 3 years. That lady must have some P tapes on some people. Let me tell you.
Right.
You're gonna wind,
That's what my wife said
I'm gonna
about
wind up.
one of her old bosses. Was there must be
Yeah.
something in that contract that no one's willing to fire her, because if she gets fired,
Hey, she,
something must go down with that entire company, because this boss that
yep.
she had was horrendous, was literally like people were quitting left and right because of this woman, and yet the company would not get rid of her. I couldn't believe it.
That's it.
One of the
Yeah, it
things
is
that
what it
I've
is.
been like talking about or thinking about with the lightsaber stuff is like Qui-Gon Jinn. So his stab was like center mass. It was a little
Mm-hmm.
low, but it was still center mass, probably right in the lungs. So I can understand
Yeah,
lungs incinerated, heart incinerated pretty quickly.
yeah.
Sabine Wren was kind of off to the side, so I can
Yeah,
understand why she survived that. Because if you miss a lot of the major organs that are in the middle and then a lot of the major organs that are on the side, you've got a pretty shitty day, but you can kind of force heal that if you know how to force heal, which obviously she didn't. But like, just thinking any Jedi, I could see that happening, or I could see like you being able to survive like right down in here. It was pretty
yeah. But
close to the
again, I
edge.
will have a problem. And again, I will have a problem with this, because you gotta
Yeah.
understand, if we're talking about the Jedi and the Sith and their fighting prowess, these are literally like martial arts masters.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no master missing. This is assassins. They are
Yeah.
peaceful assassins, and the Sith are just bound by nature, bound by their love of fight and
Yeah.
conquest, and their fear is what drives them. They use that fear for energy.
Yep.
So these people are
And the fear of
professionals.
others.
They're not missing you. That's my point.
Yeah.
Darth Vader stabbed that chick in the. Come on, man. That's Darth Vader. That's
Oh, I
Darth
know.
Vader, freaking Vader. That's Vader. That's like, now
Yeah.
you're trying to make it like as if these guys are so. No, once you see him, at least of Darth Vader I grew up with, that's death.
Yep.
You just saw death, and you're dead, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. That's it. If he come out to you like that, you die. He don't stab you and make mistakes. Now tell me, when have you ever seen Darth Vader strike somebody down and they survive?
Right.
Interesting. I don't remember. There you go. There's an entire comic where Darth Vader gets stuck on a planet and he slaughters the entire planet just to defend himself.
Yeah.
and kills everything on that planet, every living thing.
Yep.
That's Darth Vader. So if he's got the ability to kill an entire
He
planet
he is the
using the
definition of
dark
I
side
don't
of
give a
force,
fuck
how
about
will you
nothing.
survive? That's my point. He ain't letting you survive. So
Yeah.
when I watch that and I know how Darth Vader truly is, I'm like, come on, man. Why are you trying to tell me this BS? Anyone but Vader. You
Exactly.
can't do this. You can do this with anyone but Vader.
Yeah.
So, that's nothing. So you are convoluting the lore and then you're trying to water it down and then you're trying to make the most powerfulest characters look incompetent, which they're the reasons why you're here.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
come to see
Vader.
Darth Vader fight. We come to see
I
Luke Skywalker fight. We come to see the main guys go at it,
Yeah. When Vader tried to kill, tried to kill, what's her name, Reva Savander.
Yes.
It's comical because you see this character who, yes, she's been through a lot. Yes, she lived through Order 66, but there's so many Inquisitors. There's so
Yes.
many sisters and brothers and whatever else they want to call themselves that Vader doesn't give a shit. If you fail, you fail. You're dead. Like, you're already dead to him.
Absolutely.
So he's not going to sit there and try to save you or think better of you because you decided to save yourself. You're dead. Like, that's end of discussion. That is end of story for him. And that's, like you said, that's the Vader that we grew up with. He
Yeah.
did not care if you got in his way or if you did not meet the expectation. He didn't give a shit. There's a whole, I want to say it's Rogue One, where somebody defies him and he force chokes them from across the galaxy and kills them just to prove a point.
Yeah, I think that was Rogue One. Yeah. I love that part, by the way. Like he
Like,
legitimately just across the galaxy was able to force choke you to death. Like
just
I don't even have to
just to
be
prove
there
a
to kill
point.
you. But that's my point. So listen to what you just said. He just choked somebody from across the galaxy just using the force in his mind. And
Yeah,
yet Sabine was able to survive a lance drawn by his lightsaber through her,
yeah,
and she was able to survive with no problem. Get out of here. Like that, I have a
exactly.
major problem with this. You see, so when you start looking at the story, like if I'm going to add on to a lore of a story, I have to keep with the continuity of the character's abilities. And the character's abilities are as follows: Darth Vader was flawless. The only way he could be beaten was by his own seed.
Yep,
That's it. And that was something that he made. So he created his own destruction, which is the nature of the Force.
yep.
There you
And
go.
it was
And it
his
is
own
about
flaw.
good and evil, by the way. Yeah,
Like,
it is about good and evil, by the way. It's not
exactly.
about who power or who gets to wield it. No, 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 no. That's the modern world. It's about power, who gets to wield it. What this
Yep.
story is about, it's about good and evil. That's exactly what
Everybody
it's
gets
about.
to
So when
wield
you take
however
those
much
elements
power they
out,
can
you're
handle.
trying to make it, yeah, that's the real world.
Yep,
That's not the Star Wars world. The Star Wars world, like I said, if you're not born a Jedi, you can never. If you're not born with the metachlorians required, you can never be even considered. They won't even look at you to train you as a Jedi.
yeah,
Are there people who train that have no Jedi skills? Yeah, I saw plenty of them in a movie called Rebel Moon.
yep,
Exactly just like Star Wars. They just have no freaking force powers. So,
yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, if you know the entire lore, what they do now with the modern stuff doesn't make no sense. It goes against the law, like
yep,
completely against the law. So anybody can survive a lifesaver stab now. Anyone. I mean, like Obi-Wan Kenobi literally disappeared before as he got struck down. He couldn't survive that. But he was
yep.
like, oh no, I'm phasing out into the afterworld, whatever. But you're telling me that he just stabs this chick and she survives. Like you see, like it's just like it don't make no sense. It's just like
So,
I
in,
try to make sense of it. Like you ever watch something and you just try, it's wrong and it's bad, and you try to convince yourself for a minute that no, maybe it's just you, and then you realize no, it's not just you. What you watched was something that was against what entertains you. And
Does Obi-Wan
I
Kenobi
saw a quick, yeah.
sorry, does Obi-Wan Kenobi in that scene give up to basically give up and be like, I'm not the one that's going to defeat you, but
Hey, what's up?
I will be the one,
Hello,
like,
everyone.
but I will make sure that
What's
the
up? Well,
person who can defeat you will escape. Like, what is his reasoning for even battling Vader besides the fact to make sure that they can escape?
I think it
Wait,
was
what are we talking
because
about?
we're
When
talking
Sorry.
about how
Obi-Wan
Darth Vader
gets killed by
strikes down
Vader.
Obi-Wan.
Oh shit. Oh yeah.
I think what's happening at that point is that because if you look at the whole scene, it's almost like as if Obi-Wan starts to do a chant. If you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, he's holding the lightsaber, but he's looking down and he's saying something. He's whispering. I think there's an old Jedi technique that, well, he knew already because Qui-Gon Jinn came back.
Yep.
So he knew Qui-Gon had the secret. So
Yeah.
I think Qui-Gon shared the secret with him at that point, which was
Yeah.
to release all your fear, to release everything. And at the moment of contact, you will be beyond the Force. You'll be one with the next stage of the evolution of the Force, which is
Yep.
the spirit realm. Because there was no real, no one has ever came back from there before Qui-Gon. Like they have in the past, but
Yep.
in the Old Republic, all the records and everything were pretty much destroyed and the history was destroyed. So a lot of people were just, it's pretty much the lore was just kept from word to word, you know?
Yep.
So this was like the first time they ever had someone come back through the Force from the dead. So now they knew that immortal. So in other words, what Obi-Wan was actually doing was he was sparing his student by not killing Darth Vader.
Yep.
He already felt bad about what he did to him. So this is his repentance as well, while channeling the Force to become one with the Force so he could come back in the spirit realm, the same place where Qui-Gon Jinn winds up and Yoda winds up and then Darth Vader
Mm-hmm.
winds up. Then they all realize now there's a path to immortality. There is like a path to
Yeah.
immortality. And that was the whole point of the Force, was to live a life of fullness and then to pass on into the next realm of the afterlife.
Yeah.
But the galaxy was so big and everything was so chaotic back then that no one could really keep track of this mythology. And like I said, if you wasn't born a Jedi and you're just born a normal person, this is all just hearsay, rumors, and just like, you know, speculation to you. And
Yep.
if like I said, if you were lucky to see Vader choking anybody or anybody else using their force powers and live, then good for you, because you literally
Yeah.
just got away with it. Because no civilians are supposed to survive any encounters with these guys, you know.
Exactly.
So I believe that's what pretty much happened. Like, yeah, like you said too, it was to get the son away because he was training the son. Remember,
Yeah.
he trained the father and the son, Ben Kenobi. Oh, Ben. So, you know,
It,
he was a Jedi master for both.
and I mean, it's definitely the right way to end Obi-Wan Kenobi's story. I've always loved that scene. But
Yeah.
it feels cheap now. Like, it feels like we didn't have the technology to do a true lightsaber battle at this point, so
Like
let's
what they did with the Obi-Wan series.
no, more like what they did with the sequel series, the sequel
Oh,
trilogy, where there
damn,
was
those are
just
the best,
no lightsaber duels. There was just
dude.
absolute.
The sequel trilogy is the best one. You gotta remember, all those inconsistencies is what
Oh
makes it
right, yeah,
open-minded. It makes it
yeah.
up to your own interpretation.
Being able to stop a blaster bolt with the force. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
and
And
Way,
basically
well, no,
pause time.
yeah, Finn and that other girl, when
Yeah.
they save all those horses but not the children. That
Yep.
was solid writing right there.
Yep.
And that kid who
Yeah,
had the
that's right.
force, and we never got back to that kid. Man, I love that cliffhanger.
So
That
that's my
cliffhanger was a
thing.
How about when
bomb.
she
All all of these, like, the stories lately have just been plot armor after plot armor after plot armor.
Everyone should have died after Qui-Gon. Never get stabbed by a lightsaber.
Sabine, just have it miss, or have it like touch her arm or something, or have it ruin the armor. Like, have there be some meaning there besides the fact we're gonna stab her now and she's gonna live.
Yeah, then Qui-Gon, then it kind of just like Qui-Gon. Like I know people are saying that it hit his spine and everything, but
yeah,
he was still alive. Enough to tell Obi-Wan what he wanted. And I know there's been funny videos that I really appreciated. It's like one with the BAFTA tanks created like, oh yeah, it's created like an hour after the fact.
Yep.
There's literally they were just created right after this.
And that's my thing is like Qui-Gon, who's a master of the Force, literally, like I just said, one of the strongest Jedi. He sat there. He showed that he had Force speed, which is something that we never saw ever again, which would have been really amazing to see when Obi-Wan could have caught up with Qui-Gon. But no, that's once again, we'll add a little bit of plot armor there.
Was, yeah, he had Force speed, and then what happened was the Speed Force caught up to the Force speed. It was like, nah, man, you're in our realm. You got to go.
No,
it's
the
like
thing
a video
is that
game.
They ran out of coins.
Needed a recharge.
Oh no, they ran out of golden wings. That's why they can never use it again. Sonic Sonic and Star Wars are connected. Just that Sonic just took all the rings and left the Jedi.
That in Pokemon too. He learned.
Oh shit!
Pokemon? He learned a new skill, so he had to forget the old one.
Yeah.
You can only keep so many skills at once as a Jedi.
Oh.
But that's my thing is like you're telling me that Qui-Gon, someone who's a master in the Force, has Force speed, has mastered meditation,
and was the one that learned this new skill that he even taught Yoda.
Yeah,
this new thing.
He was so close to being a Force ghost, like being that close to being one with the Force, that he ended up only being like a voice outside of the Force. And like, I love that storyline with him and Obi-Wan. That was just an absolute amazing story arc. But anyways, all of that, and you're telling me that he couldn't Force heal from being stabbed?
Yeah, and Wei, who's inexperienced,
all the Jedi that could,
and Wei's inexperienced, doesn't want to do anything, and she's automatically able to heal Force hero Kylo Ren.
That was out of love. You forgot.
Oh shit! Well, to be honest,
love each other.
Yeah, there was nothing indicating towards that, but true love hits at random times. Why when somebody dies?
When there's 1,000 Sith staring you down, you never know when true love will hit.
Or you never know, they wanted an audience. You never know. True. Maybe that's what sparked it.
Well, that's the only audience they ever got.
Yeah. But then Kylo just died.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
For real though, like why is it plot armor? Is it the people writing just don't know the lore? Is it a combination of everything?
It's a combination of everything, in my opinion, because
they don't want them coming in knowing the lore. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they even said that in Acolyte.
They don't want any outer influence. They're trying to create something unique and special using what brings everyone to the table. It's like
somebody tried that recently. There were 2 parts.
Star Wars ships and
they should just make their own series.
Somebody tried that, and there were 2 parts to it, and it came out on I think Netflix.
Yeah.
And for some reason,
wait, I don't know. I don't
say it flopped.
I don't know this. I don't have Netflix. You guys gotta tell me.
Rebel Moon.
And
oh, I've heard about that.
Rebel Moon, and that's the point. What you just said is that your stuff is garbage to begin with. So why not put it on the best platform and try to freaking not even piggyback off of it? You're like a leech. You people are like leeches. You're just trying to leech off of legends. Like you suck. You're succubi. And you know why you succubi? Like we were talking about. that bootleg Star Wars sucked. I mean, part 1 was all right. Part 2, I was like, my head was hurting. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, is there going to be a fight scene? The water starts getting slow, and then you realize, no, he's just drinking water. What the hell are you doing, man? What are you doing? Wake up, bro. Wake up. Stop with this nonsense already. There's no reason why
now
you
I
have
gotta
to
see
slow
this.
down water.
I
Oh, my God. When you see that
My-
part of the water, you're going to laugh because it's literally like, you're thinking like a big battle's going to go down. No, it's just water being filled up into a freaking canteen. That's it.
No, it's just
And it's
there's a whole
all
lead up to
fresh.
something. It's
It's
just
like,
this guy taking a
no,
shit.
he's like, we're going to spend $1.2 million on this one shot, and we're just going to slow it down. And, you know, when you start slowing things down, you're thinking, oh, here comes the battle. And then what happens? Nothing. Spoilers, nothing happens. All it is the guy getting the water, and then it goes back to normal speed. You're like, what the hell was that? What the hell was that? And that's the point. You have a bunch of hack writers who have, like, I like Zack Snyder in 300. Justice League,
Wait, he did 300?
It depends on.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's the reason
movie.
300 was so successful.
God damn. I seen that movie so long ago. I didn't remember he did that.
Yep.
Wait, when you got to see all those orderly men who were muscular, the six packs in slow mo, that scene, those scenes.
It was just look. He did that for me. That movie fit right, but you just started. I get it, but you know, you just can't use the same formula for every single thing you do.
Yeah, too much slow mo.
Is that
it's like it's distracting.
But see, the funny thing is that every Snyder fan of the DC universe will say that Marvel had a formula that they didn't like and it wasn't working, but then they can't figure out that Zack Snyder actually is the one who had a formula that wasn't working. Isn't that kind of like that blindness?
What?
So you know how everyone's like, oh, the Marvel formula, they need to get away from the Marvel formula. Every Snyder fan will tell you that. And then, magically, Snyder also has this formula of using slow-mo and doing these certain things to tell a story that doesn't work after a while. But Snyder fans won't notice that. They'll cry wolf and claim this over here, but they won't notice the fact that the reason why this isn't successful is because it's doing the same thing they're saying isn't successful over here.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense now.
Okay. Sorry, I worded that so poorly. I was trying to...
Like, Mike and I were just silence, like...
I was like, did I say something wrong? Did it mute?
The way you worded it was kind of confusing at first.
So I'm looking this up. I wanted to see how Rebel Moon performed. Obviously,
it's 5.6 out of 10.
Yeah, obviously it's not like there's no budget versus box office because it went straight to Netflix. The first one got a Rotten Tomatoes of 21%.
God damn.
And a 4.2 out of 10 for an average rating. The second one got a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.7 out of 10. Now let's compare this to a recent flop that we all know and love.
Hold on. I think we should just all go to Netflix. It seems like they'll buy anything. Let's get our movie out there. It'll be really good. Mike could direct it.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I'm already working on it. Symbiotic. We're gonna have a nice movie. I even have an actor and everything that's gonna play. Don't worry,
I'll just be in the background.
I'm 20 steps ahead of the game.
Yo, can I be tree number 3?
Listen, you could be tree number 3. You could be furry number 1. Whatever you want to wear.
Do you say furry?
Yes, furry. Like wear like whatever furry outfit you want. I don't care. Be like
a
chipmunk in the background.
It's a fat ass chipmunk.
Number 1.
It's a giant chipmunk.
Like, you gotta run, and then at one point you just gotta fall because come on, that's what we're all waiting for. When you see people running those furry,
if I get paid medical, I will fall off a tree in a chipmunk costume.
There you go.
No, not off the tree. Just run down the street and just trip over your own legs. We're not gonna have you kill yourself.
Okay. I thought
It's a
you meant
nice
like going
little
the
fall,
tree.
you know. Yeah, you
I
just
thought you
run
were
as
off the
fast
tree.
as you
He's not
could.
trying to kill you. He's just trying to
you
make
just
it
run.
make
Well, you
people
said like in the
laugh.
street.
I'm just trying to
Like,
make it funny. That's all.
is there traffic?
I want you to run as fast as you can. No, not in, well. If you want to run in traffic, sure, that'll make it even better, but not necessarily. I mean, I just want you to run as quick as you can. Find like an empty street and just run like a hill. Find a downhill, and then when you just get to that point and you're tripping over your feet, I just want to watch you tumble, like and that'll be a perfect
Yeah,
shot.
I'm watching. The
I'm
plot
definitely
twist
putting that
is he's
in
going to
every
delete
movie
that
I ever
scene.
have.
It's not going to be used in the movie at all. It's just there.
So just to break
But
this
I'll
down,
have it
like
on a
how
special
bad
edition.
Special
Rebel
edition
Moon
Blu-ray.
Part 1 and 2 is. How
Ooh.
bad did you think the Marvels was?
Oh,
I didn't
well.
I didn't think it was that bad, but
How bad did you think Morbius was?
okay, that was worse than the Marvels, in my opinion.
Morbius.
I remember watching
all-
Morbius.
Out of all the horrible comic book movies we've gotten recently, had a critical rating of 15%, 1% less than Rebel Moon Part 2. And
I believe it.
Average rating of 3.8 out of 10, which is 0.1 better than Rebel Moon Part 2.
Yeah, Morbius is awful.
0.1 better.
Madam Web got
Oh god, don't tell me.
11%.
How's it what?
11%.
Oh snap! I still haven't seen it.
Yo,
I
It's
said,
been
I
on
made the
Netflix?
sacrifice. I
So
watched
tell us,
it.
how bad was it? How bad was it?
You was just watching it for Sydney Sweeney.
There's not even a Sydney.
No, they
Sweeney
don't
scene
even
in it
show
that's
no
hot.
sexy Sydney Sweeney in this. That's the fucked up part. It's like, if you would have at least had her with her boobs out everywhere, then you would have had something. But you had her dressed up like a nerd in glasses and one dream sequence that lasted 15 seconds. I didn't even have to watch the movie. If you watch the trailer, that's the whole freaking movie.
Wait, they don't even show her in her costume?
So, hours of your life.
Here's
like
the premise.
Second or two.
Ezekiel Sims has this dream, and he's been having this dream since he got bitten by the spider. That at some point, these three spider women, are gonna come kill him. They're gonna meet him in his apartment and throw him out a window. Then he finds out who these women are before they get their powers, and goes after them. They're teenagers in high school.
Yeah.
They do not look like teenagers in high school.
They don't look like teenagers in high school.
I thought they were in college.
The one I can see, the
I
Spanish
thought they were working already.
The Spanish girl, I can see her as a teenager in high school because she does look pretty young. But most of them look to be college age or just out of college.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought they were already graduated or about to graduate, like having jobs already.
So
I thought one of them was an EMT.
Well, Madam Web is the EMT. And she's 30.
Okay.
And
so
May Parker. May Parker's also 30, and the other EMT is Ben Parker. So you can kind of understand where this.
That was Adam Scott.
Adam Scott was Ben Parker.
Ooh.
As soon as that happened, I'm sitting in comic book club, and I have a bunch of kids in my classroom who are all looking at this movie, and they're
Dude,
like,
you have a comic book club too?
Yeah, I've got like 1 or 2 students who come up every now and again.
Dude, I got like 4 students. Not to brag, but
that's awesome. I had a lot more last year. A lot of them moved to other schools or went to upper school. So there's like one who comes up every now and again, and then another one who enjoys coming up just to kind of hang out and talk anyways.
Same.
So
like I used to have one student, consistent student.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes, actually. Especially if they're seniors.
Walking in the door goes, "What the hell is on that screen?"
Hey, Terry Strange.
What up, Terry Strange? Smash that like button. Hell yeah.
Wait, you watched it with the students?
Yeah, I turned it on with my students during lunchtime and activity period time, which is when we have clubs. And they're all like, "What is that?" And I was
like, are you the uncle, Mike, or are you the uncle, Chris?
That's not my niece.
Yes.
My niece better not be on YouTube. Well, I have one niece, and she better not be on YouTube. She better be asleep. She's 6 years old. or about to
He's
be
like,
6 years
"Hi,
old.
Uncle Chris."
um,
No, Terry Strange is a grown up, so we good. But hi,
Okay.
Terry, how you doing?
Like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember a while back. I remember you telling me that. I totally
yeah.
forgot.
So like there was
Indeed.
all
Fuck.
this stuff in the movie that I'm like, okay, I can see it. And then it goes, well, what do you expect, Ben Parker? And I literally like I wasn't paying a full attention to the movie. I stopped, I rewound it, and I played it, and I go, did they really just make Ben Parker an EMT and the best friend of Madam Web? Are you for real? Like, come on. And
Trying
I
to rewrite the history.
Yup, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Why would you even bother? So that was like nail in the coffin number one for me.
Yeah, because it implies that Madam Web was always there from the beginning in
Yes.
relation to Peter Parker,
Yep.
and where was she when Ben Parker died?
Right. So
Canon event.
basically, there's bright spots in this entire movie, but they are very, 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 very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like I understand that only 11% of critics had something positive to say about this. I get that. I would probably put myself at about a 2 out of 10 for this because there's potential. If you would have said to me, we're going to tell you the story of where her powers came from, which is this small little place in Peru, um, and her mother dies in childbirth, and to save the mother, they give her the spider bite that gives this whole clan of people powers, the ability to climb and all that, and basically like they're fast. Like it, that part of it was interesting and fun, and I could engage with that. I was okay with it. Like add to the lore in a different way, sure. Do what you got to do. Tell me a different story. Go ahead. But then Ezekiel Sims comes out, and he's the one that killed her and all that. Then you have this massive long origin story of Madam Web, where Ezekiel Sims is chasing these three girls, and she's trying to get them away. And every time she gets them away, he finds them again, and then she gets them away, and then he finds them again, and then he gets like it was this back and forth of leapfrog. And I'm like, no, no, no. If you would have just told me she got these powers, she then figured out that she had powers. She then went back to go
Yeah.
see this, and they said, hey, once you let go, your powers, you'll be able to expand your powers as much as you want. Cool. Great. Then introduce Ezekiel Sims. Then introduce these three Spider Girls with powers in their 20s or whatever. Then introduce the fact that Ezekiel Sims has this dream and is trying to hunt them down. Then introduce the fact that Madam Web can help in all of that. I don't need to see how she ends up in a wheelchair. I don't need to see how she loses her eyesight.
Wait,
That
how
does
does
not
she?
matter to me. I honestly don't even remember. I
It's
was
that
looking away at the
stupid.
time, and then it jumped straight to when she's in the hospital with no eyesight, and
It's like, what the
basically
hell
she
happened?
yeah, pretty much.
He just
But by that
just
point in the
came up.
movie,
He's like,
I was
that's it, I'm
tired of
done.
rewinding. I didn't want to
He said,
rewind
that's
because
it,
I
I'm
was
done.
tired of the movie. I wanted it to be done. And I basically
He
was
said,
just
that's it, I'm
like,
checking
okay,
out.
let me just get through this. She lost her eyesight. She's in a wheelchair. And that's when you see her being Madam Web, existing outside of the plane of existence, just like we know her to do, and projecting herself where she needs to project herself to protect her spider people, and the three badass women going and being badasses. If you would have started there, if you would have jumped straight to that, by all means, do what you got to do, have fun with it. But everything in between, when she figures everything out to when she loses her eyesight, was useless garbage. There was no need for any of that. The character building was just a waste of time. The dialogue was a waste of time. The only saving grace of this entire movie is the chemistry these four women have, and the fact that there is potential for there to be an amazing team up between these amazing actresses. Like, I could honestly see Dakota Johnson, I think it is, playing Madam Web further, whether she wants to or not. I could see that. Because honestly, I felt that she did accept the responsibility that she had. But again, there's so much bullshit tied up into this that every little tiny bright spot is immediately snuffed out.
Well, you do understand too, because of the fact that this is like property of another studio. The mere fact that they're trying to tie Peter Parker's name into everything, they have to step around and be very careful how they do it. Still wasn't an excuse for how bad it sucked.
Oh, I forgot.
I say
at the
I
end of
wouldn't
the
have
movie,
even went in that direction.
the last time that Ezekiel catches up to them, May Parker's in the car with Ben, or Mary Parker's in the car with Ben Parker, and she's going to the hospital to give birth to Peter.
Yeah.
That's just as bad as Peter Parker's family wind up being agents of freaking S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? And I'm not saying that's a bad story, because that's actually the story, but still.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
So, he's agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And there was probably people before you. And that's the whole point. You see, it's like that Doctor Who. Like, people have been losing their minds over Doctor Who. And I can explain to you why that is. It's real simple. They went back in time and they changed Doctor Who into a black little girl that fell off of a mountain. And she fell so eloquently and so, like, you know, not like, you could tell she wasn't going to die, but it was just funny watching how they made this child fall. So literally, you just did that, and then you went to all of your fans and goes, "Excuse me, white people, this song was not made for you." Like, first of all, who's like, wait, the minute you do that, you just kill your entire audience. What's wrong? I'm making a comic, Symbiotic. It's for everyone who wants to buy it. I don't care what background you have, where you come from, your nationality, your sexual orientation, who you want to
Or
be.
species.
If you're a he, I don't care. You could be a furry. As long as
Wait, that's
you
not a
want to buy
species. Wait, what?
it
That's a
doesn't
group.
matter. That's a species. Trust me. You're going to fight this. You'll see in 6 months when it's a species. But it's all good.
Wait, that's your timeline? 6 months?
Oh, yeah. When it becomes a species,
give or take.
definitely. When it becomes official, yeah. Well, 6 months. I already know these things. Trust me.
Do you watch it in 6 months? You're going to get that news report?
Walk around. Watch, Alice. You're gonna start seeing all furries everywhere start acting strange in the next couple months. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, maybe Mike's onto something. Watch this see.
Yeah, then I'll be like,
I mean,
well,
if
damn.
your gender can now be seasoned, then anything's possible, right?
Wait, what?
Look,
there's people saying that their gender's the seasons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard about that yet.
Yes.
Last time I met a girl who said that she was summer, she was probably a stripper.
Oh, that's good. That's a good presumption. Yeah.
I'm summer. I'm winter.
That's a good stripper name.
Yeah.
That's a good stripper name. I'm summer. I'm winter.
Even autumn.
Oh, I want you for.
I'm spring.
Oh,
I spring into action.
Cheating, man.
Watch what happens when her leaves drop.
I feel like autumn.
What? Okay.
So I don't care what kind.
Wait, hold on, I got one more. Winter. When the water comes down, you become wet.
Mm. So
You'll make you wet.
Spring the big thaw?
Wait, what?
Does that make spring the big thaw?
The big thaw spot.
Oh, no, it'll make everything bloom. How about that?
Oh, there you go.
How did we get on this topic now?
Spring is the less seasoned stripper.
Legion of Comics set. The less seasoned.
The less seasoned.
Oh.
Sup.
Just starting to bloom. Anyways.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Dude, that just sounds so wrong in so many ways.
Well, we're talking about the seasons and flowers
Yeah, we're
blooming,
talking about
man.
the
What's wrong with
seasons. We're talking
flowers?
about the fact that
Wait, are we talking about the
everything needs to be
birds? Wait,
included.
is there going to be
Get,
bees and birds?
I
listen,
never
get your mind
understood
off
that
the gutter, guy.
conversation. What the hell does bees and birds have to do with anything?
Dude, because that's when birds start mating and bees
No,
bloom the
I
flowers.
I get that portion, but
Oh,
what?
you
Why
meant like in general?
in
Oh,
general? Why do we go? Hey, have you talked to them about the birds and the bees? Yeah, in like
yeah.
kindergarten when I needed to teach them that birds fly and bees sting you. But why are we relating that to that? Like shit.
I guess it's. I think. Yeah, I guess what I was saying, like the birds pollen. No, the bees pollen the birds. Like that's the time of spring. But I think they could have really worded it better. I think so. Yeah.
I think there's a better analogy out there, but I
I
don't
know
know.
that. I know there's a history
Look,
to it. I have to look it up, but they need to
there is a history to
rephrase it now.
Congratulations.
I ate Applebee's today.
yeah, Applebee's today. Nice.
Nice.
Congratulations.
We're all just
I'm
talking
gonna
about
have me
random
some
bullshit at
Applebee's.
this point. No, but seriously, when it comes to all of this, it doesn't have to be we're trying to reach this one audience. Yes, that's great. It's awesome that you're trying to reach an audience, but it has to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Because if everybody can't see themselves in it in some way, shape, or form, that's a problem. And I want to say
That
that Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie, did this extremely well. Same with X-Men 97 and the original X-Men series. But Black Panther for the modern age did this really well. Yes, it was a movie for African people of African descent. I think that's the most politically correct way I can say that. Because not everyone who's black is African descent, but you get what I'm saying. It like that's who it was for.
Be
But
careful, Chris.
it's
You're gonna get
also
canceled.
for I know that's why I'm trying to tiptoe.
I know.
It was also for people who loved comic books. It was also for people who enjoyed the Black Panther stories, like anything Black Panther related that they'd seen before. Because he like this was not the first time he was ever on TV or anything like that. He'd been in other things.
Yeah, he played Jackie Robinson.
Yeah,
Well, we're talking about Chadwick Boseman, right?
no, just like Black
Oh, Black
Panther.
Panther. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you
Black
were talking about
Panther
the actor.
as
I'm
the
sorry.
character. Like it's okay that Black Panther is for a specific group, but it's also something that a ton of people can see themselves in. And
Yeah.
pretty much everyone
Like
I
I'm
know
I'm
who is
filthy
like
rich and have great technology. I definitely saw myself in that.
exactly, see? But pretty much anyone who was like, I'm not gonna go see that movie, they were like, oh well, all it does is talk about how racist white people are. And I'm like, yes,
But it did
and
so much more
like
too. It wasn't like the exact focal point of the movie.
exactly.
Like
And I'm like,
I could
if
understand if it was like blatantly obvious and it was that's all they were going to go. That's all the movie that they were going to
yep,
write about. Then yeah, I can see where the argument could be. But the fact that I did something else with it,
yep.
I mean, it
I
wasn't in
looked at
your
someone
face all the time,
I looked at someone who said that I'm not gonna name names. Um,
Mike. I was
no,
kidding.
I'm not gonna name names, but pretty much I was like, I think your racism is showing.
Is
If
it your
you're not
wife?
willing to hear joke, yeah, the guy was white.
No, I said, is it
Um,
your wife?
oh no, it's not my wife. I was like, I think your racism is showing because if you're not willing to go see a movie because it's a bunch of African people making fun of white people and there's a token white person in an African based movie, I don't know if this is right for you if you're ready for like people being together in the same room. Like,
Yeah.
are you still a Brown versus Board of Education person? What's going on here?
Oh, whoa. Oh wait,
I'll
oh, I
say
thought you
that'll
said he worked for the board
No,
of
no,
education.
no.
I was like, oh shit. I was like, damn.
look. I'll say that applies, but I'm gonna put it a step better.
Oh,
There
let's
was
do
a
this.
movie that came out recently. It was called um the Magical Society of Magical
Oh,
Negroes, I believe. And
it's
it
the magical.
literally
Yeah,
is
I know.
so Listen, it's the Magical Society of Magical Negroes or something. For magic. Anyway, so the movie's pretty much like it went from being satirically funny to pissing everybody the hell off. And a lot of not just whites, but blacks didn't even go see this movie. It was a
Wow.
complete bomb because the premise was like, like when you're telling a story and then boom, boom, there goes the punchline. Well, the punchline never came. So as you're watching this movie, it's just more racist on top of racism, but it's not funny racism. Like I don't mind if people make fun of the racist. That's totally cool.
Wait, there's such
And
thing as
even if
funny
you're trying to,
racism?
but
Well,
no,
no,
I'm
it's not
just saying, like
racism. It's
when
like
I mean,
making racial
it's
jokes.
a
can you give
joke.
us a example?
No,
I'm
give me
Any
one.
I'm kidding. I'm
comedian,
kidding.
any comedian that's worth his salt will tell you exactly what I'm about to tell you, which is this: there is no such thing as racism, sexism, or anything, and there's no such thing as anyone's a special target or off limits. Everyone is on limits. This the whole point of having this
Yep.
is because we have a freedom of speech, the First Amendment. So you gotta understand something about that.
This isn't
When
communist
you
China.
have comedians that are being like ridiculed right now, I mean, like we're talking about all across the campuses for whatever, for
Yeah.
wars for that we have nothing to do with, nor we have any business being in. Like, I don't mind being a warrior or standing up for something. I just believe in standing up for something where I have all the information on it, not just blindly following the crowd. I mean, you got people that are protesting on the internet and they're asking them, so why are you guys protesting? They're like something about Palestine, and then the girl's like, I don't even really know why we're here. Like, that's my point. Like, and that's what's going on in society.
Yep.
I feel the same
Across
way.
the world.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
it's just
Palestinians who
like,
don't know why they're fighting right now too. Like it's
yeah,
everywhere.
look,
Ignorance is
it's real
truly bliss
simple.
right now in 2024.
It's real simple. If I say like this, I don't care what the cause is. If you feel the cause, go support the cause. Go. Just
Exactly.
go do it over there. You sitting here crying about the cause, it's not helping no one over there. I believe in action. Action meaning not just gonna go out to the streets and just waste my breath. I like how they were trying to take over campuses and were demanding food. We're taking over this building now. Can you send us a non-vegan, non-gluten?
What's that
Are they
typically
gluten
called
free?
when
No
somebody
bananas. I'm allergic to bananas.
takes over a building, doesn't allow anyone to leave, gives a list of demands? What's that called?
High
A
school.
hostage crisis?
That's called a hostage situation, right? So you're gonna
Oh, wait,
say
I went
like,
to
you
the
know
wrong
what?
high school then. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. My high school was great.
Look,
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
real
whoa, whoa,
simple.
whoa.
I think
Let's not take shots at college kids. Some of them are very
consider,
amazing women who need to go back to the
yeah,
50s and
yeah.
60s, according to a Chiefs punter.
Well, that's my point. Get out your college and go. If you feel strong about helping whoever, whatever side you want to help, hey, go over
Exactly.
there. Believe me, they'll take you with open arms.
Yep.
Whatever side you want to fight with, go for it. Go ahead. Just see just how easy it would be to do that, or how hard, or how unrealistic you what you're saying and
Yep.
what you're doing. Look, this is the way I feel about wars in general. Anything that's going on overseas has nothing to do with us. I'm not concerned myself about it. I'm not going to worry about. Everybody keeps telling you about humanitarian causes. Listen to
Mm-hmm.
me very carefully. We have our own humanitarian causes going
Yep.
on in this country alone. In California, I don't know, Alex, if you run across them, but we see it up on the East Coast like as if there's homeless encampments every freaking place you go in California these days.
Wait, hold on. That's true.
Right. So there you go.
That is actually
Point.
very true. In
Like,
LA, in
they're like
LA,
the
over the years in Los Angeles, I remember there being homeless, but when I went there recently, I didn't remember being that much homeless people being in the area. It's just gotten so bad. Even here where I live right now, Merced, I see so many more. Like so I've been here since 2018,
Yeah.
and since in those years, it has increased so much.
So my
And
thing
yeah, there
is,
is a lot of homelessness in California, and it's very sad, and no one's doing anything about it, or that will make it like a huge dent in the
yeah,
problem.
as my thing is it getting worse, or as we get older, are we noticing it more?
I think it's both,
No,
honestly.
no, it's not both. It is
Well, a little bit of
absolutely.
both
It's
sometimes.
not. No, no. It's literally what you just said. It is getting way worse.
It's getting
Okay,
worse.
it is. It is. I
I
mean,
mean, I believe it's getting worse, but like, there's
you,
times when I thought I must like there was a time when I was like, I was probably just a dumb kid. I didn't notice it back then. I was
nah.
one track mind. I was focused on me,
Well,
and yes, I
2018, this is
noticed
getting a
like
problem.
homeless people,
Yeah.
but not at every single street corner
I
when I'm
know.
driving to work.
I think you become more aware of it. Well, I agree that it is worse, but I think yes, when you get older, you start noticing it, and
For sure.
then you notice how much worse it's getting because now you're paying attention to it. That's why I say it's a little bit of both. It's like when you get older, then you start focusing. It's like, oh, now I can focus on this and start seeing it for myself with a new set of eyes, a new
Yeah.
viewpoint,
I
mature. But yes,
I
definitely it does get worse over the years. And when you finally realize that, yeah, it keeps getting worse and worse, and it's very sad.
And
I
see,
will say this much. I'm
my
sorry.
thing that I
That's what.
struggle
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
is that if I give money to them, I don't know what they're going to go use it for. If
To
I
be
give
honest, yeah, my
if I give
my
money
standpoint,
to a program that says they're going to do something for them, I don't know what they're going to go use it for.
what I usually do, how I give money to homeless only, uh, mainly. I'm not sexist or anything. I mainly do it for women because I know they have a much harder time
What?
being homeless and
They're
everything.
women. They have an easier time. She'll have a boyfriend in a week or two and be off the streets. She finds the right guy, trust me. She got her ass off the street. There's way more homeless men than women. What's wrong with you, man? You're a misogynist.
Well, the
I can't believe
statistics
you.
show that the
Sexist,
homeless women
sexist, sexist, exactly.
are.
Sexist, 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 sexist. That's what you are, man. I can't believe you just said that. How dare you?
He's
I'm just
just
I,
trusting.
he's trying to do whatever the Buttiker or whatever his name is. He's trying to get them back into the kitchen. He's giving them money to make sure they have a kitchen over their head.
hey, yo,
Yeah.
what?
The Chiefs punter went to a college campus.
I was about to say that's not what I said, but
No, the
like,
Chiefs punter went, or
yeah,
kicker or punter went to a college campus, gave a
yeah.
commencement speech, and basically in that commencement speech broke down everything about, or broke down everyone who is part of the female community, part of the LGBT community, not Christian. Like it is bad. I
Oh shit,
I
he
don't know
really
if this
like did he
guy's
go on a
going.
rant like on everything?
Pretty much barefoot and pregnant, back in the kitchen immediately.
Yep.
God damn, seriously? I gotta look
So
this up.
I don't see anything really wrong with what he really said. And I'm gonna tell you why. Find you a woman that looks tired, and then ask her this: if a man came along today and said you never have to work again, would you continue working? Now, it's only going to work for the women who are broken at this point, not for every woman. But you'll find them. There's a lot of them walking around there, and they'll tell you yes in a heartbeat. Because I'm telling you guys, I'm not saying that women shouldn't follow whatever pursuits they want, but most women don't feel this. Like there's a small percentage of women who feel this pursuit of academia, who want to go on and achieve things, but the majority of women do not feel the same. It's just like most people in college. Like there's a small percentage of really talented, smart individuals who can achieve the level of academia that is
Yes.
worth you pursuing a college pathway, you know?
Yep.
Because
No,
not
for sure.
college is not for everyone.
I
That's what
completely
I'm trying
agree.
to say. Like
And
it,
that's me as a teacher saying
and it's
the
not just
way that
about
we've been raising
intelligence.
kids for
Yes,
the past 30 years is wrong.
yeah, right, exactly. And it's not just about intelligence that people think it is, because you can have average intelligence and do good in college. It's more about discipline and how you, as an adult, would act being upon yourself with left to your own devices. And that's where all success in academia comes from. A lot of people don't understand this, and a lot of people are not made for college, and that's okay. Same thing with women. There's a lot of women that just do not want to work, and I don't blame them because a lot of them want to be traditional women. Because I mean, I'll be honest. If like, look, if women, and I can't believe we're going to this, but I'll just say that if women kept their purity longer and they just hunkered down and found the man that they feel would be the best for them, even if you wind up saying like, because the culture teaches women today, oh, you don't need no man. No, it's not about that. You need a man, and it's not about. It's about that a man and a woman are supposed to be together to complement each other, are partners, let's say. Not
Yeah.
even man and woman, man and man, women and women. Even though I did some research, and this is funny, 78% divorce rate right now is with the lesbian population. The lowest divorce rate is men.
Like gay
So the highest,
population?
yes. So lesbian population that are married have the highest divorce rate. And you want to know why? Because it's real simple. Women are creatures that uh, acquire a lot of tending to and attention. So these are creatures who are used to like getting the attention given to them. These are now you got two women in a relationship that are used to getting attention, but they're not used to giving the attention that the other person would need. You see, that's why like men and women complement each other because we give that the women that need an attention.
That is true.
Um,
Most time a
no,
woman
it's
emasculates a man to be basically a woman.
right. So
They
that's
get
what I'm
divorced.
saying. Right. They get balls at
Th-
that point.
Is that included in the lesbian statistic?
I just say like this:
When you're so
women,
emasculated that you're
women,
basically
women. The lesbian women proved the point. If you want to know anything that's going on with marriages and stuff, then you already know just by their own statistics that the women are the problem here. And it's not bashing on women. I'm just saying, if two women can't stay married, what does that say about women then? This is women statistics, not men divorcing women, women divorcing each
yeah.
other, you
So
know? And you know what
I
they said the main reason was because they weren't getting enough attention in the relationship. That's what killed me most of all.
yeah.
Because women don't give each other attention. If anything,
So
women repel each other's attention. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just
I
rambling on.
definitely want to try to get this all back on track to where we were
Yeah.
talking about comic book movies and all that.
I,
Um,
I
but I'd
blame
also
Alex for
want to
this.
say before we get canceled
It's
that
like some of you guys.
I mean, basically what it comes down to is even if my wife like if my wife came to me today and said, "You don't ever have to work again. I'm going to make enough money to support us both. I got this massive pay raise." I'd say, "You know what? In all honesty, that's fine. Like go ahead, do what you got to do. If you
Right.
want me to stay home with the kids and you're going to make enough money for both of us, go right
Yeah.
ahead." But I mean, that's also the problem lately is people can't support a family of 4, let alone a family of 5, 6, 7, 8 on one income.
Yep.
And that's making damn good money. That's not minimum wage money. That's making good money where you are well above the poverty line, like double the poverty line with
Yeah.
one income. $80,000 is not the same buying power that it used to have. Whether
Nope.
you want to call it inflation or not, it
It's
is what it is.
definitely inflation.
It
There's no doubt it's all about inflation. I mean,
well, no,
Jesus.
but I mean like what I mean by that is like it's not the fact that it's not just that stuff costs more.
Yeah.
It's that when it comes down to it, there's a lot more that people are trying to do these days. Everybody I know has a hobby. My parents growing up, they went bowling. They were in
Yeah.
bowling leagues for maybe a couple years when I was a kid, and that was that. And they hardly ever had hobbies. They took us to sporting events, they did that. Even even my family who has like kids that are just about to graduate high school, they don't really have very many hobbies outside of hanging out with their girlfriends and their guy friends and all that. Like that was a thing that was not a thing for people growing up 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. You didn't have a hobby, you didn't you were a parent and that was that. But like now, my wife collects books. I collect comic books. I go play hockey every Monday night that I can when there's leagues going on and stuff. Obviously, not during the end of spring and summertime, but my wife goes and does stuff with her girls, and they do their thing at least once a month. She does book clubs too. Like, we have a bunch of hobbies. Whether that will continue as our kids get older, who knows? But like our generation and even like older generations now are getting a bunch of hobbies that they want to do with people so they can connect. Social media has connected us so much recently that you can literally have a conversation with someone in California from New York at 10 o'clock on a Friday night.
Yo, what's
And
up? From the California gang?
and you can share your hobby with people.
Yeah.
So
Wait, this
like,
is a hobby? I thought this was a lifestyle. I thought this was
hobbies
ride
are
or die.
lifestyles.
This is
What?
the
Wait,
choice.
what? The comic book,
Exactly.
I didn't choose a comic book life. The comic book life chose me.
Yep.
This is perfect.
He's
You
right
don't get
about that.
smartphones and magically they're into hobbies again. So, but that's the other thing is a lot of people think, or a lot of people's hobbies are based on smartphones now. Video gaming. Fortnite has a massive following from kids all the way from like young, all the way through to people who are like 30, 40 years old. Minecraft, that came out when I was a freshman in college. And
Damn, I'm old. Fuck.
Oh, please.
Shit.
If I told
Shit.
you my age, you
the
would
beta
die.
version came out in 2010. I
Dude,
remember watching
I
one
was
of my
starting high
RAs.
school.
I remember watching one of my RAs play the beta version. I was like, there's no way this
Wait,
game's
you were a
gonna
freshman
take
in college
off.
at that time?
Yep.
I was a freshman in high school.
I was like, there's no way this game's gonna take off. The graphics suck. Everybody wants it. Everybody enjoys the next gen systems. PS3 was big. Everybody's enjoying all this, and Minecraft just blew up. It's amazing how it blew up.
It really did. I mean, I'm surprised that blew up. I honestly thought it was a game for
I,
kids,
I
like
don't
young
disagree,
kids,
Legion.
and I'm surprised it got up to this long.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? What makes Minecraft really work is that it's at the primal level of our human consciousness. We, as creatures, love to solve puzzles, and they're simple, and they're
Wait, we
maze-like.
do?
Yeah, of course we do.
Is that why I'm so
What-
good at the Rubik's Cube?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you want to solve that puzzle so badly, and made you so good at it that you solved the Rubik's cube.
Dang,
That's
does
the
that mean I
point.
can solve world hunger too?
But Gen Z is this weird generation. And
Yeah, I lost faith
I
in
want to
Gen
see
Z.
what's going to happen to Gen Z in about 10 years.
A lot of them are going to be
Because-
in therapy while Gen Alpha is going to be coming up and kicking all their asses. I love Gen Alpha, by the way.
I love Gen Alpha.
Wait, is Gen
Z,
Alpha the one that's current right now, or the ones that are being born?
Gen
No, the
Alpha
ones
is the
that are-
one that's currently being born. The first Gen Alpha that I'm going to see as a sixth grade teacher, if I'm still a sixth grade teacher next year,
Yeah,
is coming up. It will be
Yeah,
the
that's
first time we've ever seen Gen Alpha in middle school.
yeah.
As
So
a
they've
full
been already
class.
in public school, and they've
Yep.
been kicking ass. They've been
Oh, yeah.
making the Gen Z kindergarten teachers cry online. I love watching that, and I'm like, is there hope? Is the Alpha going to be the Omega of it all? Yes, I'm so
So-
happy for these kids. I got
But
their
that's
back.
the thing. Like Gen Z, there's some Gen Zers out there who genuinely want to do amazing things, and they're not willing to listen to anybody tell them no. They want, like, they're going out there and they're doing amazing things. But those Gen Zers are very few and far between. I completely agree with what Legion just said. Gen Z is the lost generation
Yeah,
because they are struggling. They are going to struggle because they were given technology way too soon. They grew up in the technology boom. They a lot of people parented with technology, and I'm guilty of that too. There's times, like, I was at a family reunion dinner tonight, and my son's playing a video game on my mother-in-law's smartphone because obviously she let him, and I
Chris, how
tried
could
to say
you?
no, but I'm also not going to be that
Oh, yeah,
parent
here we
in
go.
front of all of my mother-in-law's family. I'm not going to be that guy. And my daughter was getting antsy because we were sitting down for dinner at 5:30, and it was about an hour into dinner already, and we were just getting food because there's 20 of us. And like, I get it. There was a lot going on, and we were waiting for people to show up. Like, by the time everyone was there, it was 6 o'clock. So half an hour has gone by, and my daughter's just losing her mind. She's 3 years old. She doesn't know any of these people. So she's struggling. I get it. And I turned on, I think it was Bluey or whatever, like whatever she wanted to watch, or Frozen. She was watching Frozen on my phone.
Let it go.
I felt like a
Let it
jackass because I'm like,
go.
am I really that parent right now? But at the same time, it's like she's gonna watch that for 15 minutes, eat her dinner. She's gonna be chill, and then she's gonna get antsy again because I mean she's 3. Like that's the definition of a 3-year-old. They want to be on the go. They're always on the go. They want to be active. My daughter's literally in the restaurant trying to do gymnastics moves on my arm and using my arm as a beam to hold on to and pull
There you
herself
go.
up and do her koala move and all that kind of crap
That's a good
because
idea.
she's bored as hell. She would love to get out there and do crazy stuff, but that's not okay in a restaurant. So it is what it is.
Not with that attitude.
But
Wait, that was just a joke. I hope you guys know that. Please don't encourage your children to start doing acrobatics and shit in the restaurant.
exactly. But I felt like a jackass parent. I'm like, I never want to be that parent that just sticks my kid in front of a screen. Ever since the weather's been nice, my kids are outside playing, they're having fun, they're enjoying life, they're doing anything they can possibly do. Because that's the kind of parent I always want to be. I always want them to be enjoying stuff. And they have tons of hobbies. My son was literally wearing a Captain Rex helmet the other day as he's playing my daughter's Amazing Spider-Man and Friends drums kit that I bought her for her birthday, and
Whoa,
he's
you
singing
gotta
a
show
song.
me that. You gotta show me that.
Oh,
That's an amazing
Yo, you
Spider-Man.
gotta
I'll
show us in
send
the
you the
chat.
video. It's
Dude, that sounds so
hilarious.
dope right now.
Yo, I
God
want
And
damn.
one.
he's singing a
I'm
song about
buying it.
Star Wars and Spider-Gwen and how he's like trying to sing a song about my daughter. It's so freaking cute. And I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that I love. This is what I want them to continue to do.
Yeah, it's called
But
having hobbies
again,
and being creative.
yeah, exactly. Be creative. If you want to wear my expensive helmet and allow your sister to wear the other one, by all means, go ahead and go wear it as long as you're respectful of it. And that's the thing is I try my best to make sure that we do that. But I mean, it is what it is. You completely agree. Me and my wife had those days we didn't cave. I took the kid up and walked out for a few. They have to learn how to act in public. Sucks for them and parents at times, but I don't do screens. And I get that. I totally understand that. I respect it too. There was this time when I literally I said, let's go bring the food out to the car. It's downpouring rain. We walked out to the car. We walked back. We had a ball with it. We made it last as long as it could. It was what it was. And again, it's a struggle because as an adult, I'm trying to catch up with family members that my wife hasn't seen in 4 years. And you're trying to allow for all of that. You're trying to like there's only so many things that a 3-year-old can do to be bored at the end of the day. That once the placemat's been completely colored on, every single napkin's been colored on, it is what it is. But
Look,
anyways,
you gotta look in your neighborhood for the girl who sings and who bakes cookies, and make that your babysitter, and perhaps you'll have the next Taylor Swift in your midst. So yeah, do it.
there you
But
go.
do it definitely. That's why we got babysitters, man. Sometimes it's just better to leave the kids at home. I mean, like, and it's not mean to the kids. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like you got. If you know that, you just gotta think like, what are you really doing? I mean, the kid's gonna miss you, but it's really gonna be worse than dragging the child along to a bunch of adults they've never seen, and they're like, cranky, hungry,
It,
this,
and
that.
that's the thing
I'm
is like
bored.
I want them to know their family. I want them
Yeah.
to
No,
know
I
who,
understand. That's how you
you
tell them.
know, like it's such a balancing act. Like just
Yeah.
as we were talking about with Star Wars, it's such a balancing act to have two chosen one kids and be the Imperial
And this is how
Empire.
we bring it back to Star Wars.
There you go. Segue right back into Star
Full
Wars, baby.
circle right there. You
There
got to
you
be
go.
but
balanced.
Yes.
That's
but
all
yeah, I
things
mean,
should be. That's a Thanos reference. I know it's not Star Wars, but
there
still.
exactly perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Exactly.
But like it when it comes down to it, with everything that we're seeing lately, whether it's on the movies, in on streaming, whatever, it nothing is balanced. It's there isn't that balance between
Except
good
for
and
that
bad,
popcorn in
and
your hand. In your hand.
It's
yeah,
like we were saying, it's a bunch of bad writers who
yep,
got into the industry who are trying that have no talent whatsoever to go out there and to make something compelling that will make people flock to their writing. So instead, as a hack, what you do is you tie yourself to an intellectual property that has a built-in audience
yep.
and then try to BS around that. And
Wait,
fuck
so
it,
anything? So anyone can do it?
Anyone could do it.
anyone. Yeah.
Oh snap!
I mean, it's being done right now before your eyes. You see the crap that's being made. I mean, you tell me. You think it's not being done? These are a bunch of hack ass writers. I write
Yeah, I
better
know.
than them.
It's been doing it.
Believe me, I'm bragging about how I write. I write amazingly compared to these people. And I know it. And I ain't worried about it. I'm just going to keep making my world, my lore, build up my entire universe, my multiverse, my symbiverse. And then when the time comes, whoever wants to pay me, hey, pay me. We put a movie
Build that
together, a
shit.
TV show, anime. My point is this, is that what I'm saying this to you, I'm totally serious. That I know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to building an entire, universe from scratch. And it's just something that I feel like in the future is going to be huge because of
Yeah.
the fact that you got so much hackless, talentless writers that are this successful. They're this successful. Jesus Christ, you're this successful. I can't wait to see where I'm going to be in 5 years. I just
Well,
started. I just
it's
started.
like whose ass did you have to kiss, or whose dick
Right.
did you have to suck to
Right,
get there?
exactly. Who'd you have to drop on knees to? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm
And I'm not
self-published.
saying that to anyone in particular. I'm saying that to
Right.
every single trashy writer that's
Look,
come out of
man.
Hollywood.
Look, man. I work
Men,
for
women,
Hollywood
whatever.
part-time. I work for Hollywood part-time on the East Coast, so trust me.
Wait, who did you have to suck then, Mike?
No.
No, I'm
I said
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I,
I'm kidding.
I'm saying
He
like
had the
this.
credentials.
Don't ever think that there ain't no nefariousm going on. I'll just say like this. For what I do, nah, believe me, you'll get smacked upside the head. It don't matter who you are. See, we were in the side of Hollywood that you need us, and if you mess with us, we'll shut you down. I'll just put it to you like that. It's almost like working for the mob. I'll just put it to you like that. It's pretty much the truth. I
So
mean, you
it's an
talk about
offer that you can't wait to use.
hey, it's Teamsters, baby. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. You want to mess around with the Teamsters? They haven't even went on strike when Hollywood went on strike. All right, because Teamsters are always getting money. That's it. What do you think they're gonna go? They don't. When is the last time you
Okay, want to
guys saw
find out?
Teamsters on strike? Think about that. When? And you want to know when? Never. That's the point. Because they're at a point in all facets of transportation and unionization that they just get what is due to them, and
Yeah.
it's good union. There's no fighting there. There's no anything. Well, I mean, like we work good with Hollywood, but if Hollywood messed around, hey, we could shut it down like that on them, and we wouldn't. I mean, there wouldn't be no reason to. I
Yeah.
mean, unless and this is why unions are important in this country because I mean, like if you did have strikers, you would have scabs. They used to call them scabs. Now we just call them migrant workers. And if you put any of those guys up, believe me, they would just not. It would be a bloodbath, like literally. And I'm not saying like bloodbath of the economic kind either. I mean it because it's to that point where but it's a good preservation because you gotta understand, like for what we do and who we work with, like most people have to be vetted for years. Like you're gonna be around people, producers, directors, actors. You're gonna be around from the janitor to the main.
Exactly.
So you need to be trusted, and
So in
you have to be kind of vetted. It's just a weird circumstance to be in.
Yeah.
But I could see like the structure of the Teamsters. They're just like, it's crazy, man. Believe me, I make more than most production assistants. I know I do way more than them. Oh God, I don't discuss money with them. Because when I hear them talking about what they get, I almost feel really bad for them. I'm like,
But how much do you get paid?
say I ain't talking about it. Trust me.
Wait, how much do you get paid before taxes?
You get the hell out of here, man. I do not talk money. I will say this much though. I'll say this much though. It's a lot. That's all.
Wait, hold on. Can you buy a yacht right now?
Not yet.
No.
Okay, so
Give
it's not that
Give
much.
it another week.
But
One more week.
If you think buying the ability to have money to buy a yacht is something, that's not actually, because
No,
yachts
because
are just
to be honest, a yacht's a waste of money.
That's
It's
what I
a
just said.
waste of
That's
money.
a waste of money. Like, that's now having wealth to the point where, I mean, I can't see myself spending $25 million on a boat where I could just go.
Right.
And I'm not saying that become a socialist and give your money away, but if I'm
No.
going to throw $25 million away, so I'm opening up a hospital or a college
Or do real
school
estate
or
to
something.
provide homes for people who need them.
I mean, that.
Rent it out.
Some philanthropy at that point. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. $25 million will not go to a boat. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't mind
You
making
do
money,
the
and I don't mind being rich. What I'm saying is that I just wouldn't be an asshole with my money.
same.
Being rich, I just wouldn't.
I'll give back.
Like, it's not about giving back. Believe it or not, giving is just as hard as you would think. Like, giving somebody money in the street, that's a whole different thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about giving money away, millions. It's very hard. You'd be surprised. If I wanted to give you $1 million today, I would have to go through so much process, so you wouldn't get taxed. It wouldn't even be funny. Legally, of course, but yeah, you just can't give that wealth away. It's just such, they make it hard for people who want to really help people to help people. I know a lot of people who are rich too, and people who are YouTubers who are very successful and were going through hell just trying to be nice people, trying to give away stuff. So you got to be very careful with that too. You could be generous to a point, but you always got to be careful with that, because the minute you put that kind of energy out there, people are just going to come and take advantage of what they can get out of you.
Exactly.
And I'm saying help the children. If that's what I would do if I had multi-millions. So I would make things for the children, like schools
That's
and
why
hospitals and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you become a multimillionaire or billionaire, instead of giving the money away to do good, you have to build your own Batman or Iron Man or whatever suit, and then you could do good.
Dude, I'm gonna build
That's the way to do it.
Listen, I'm going to spend billions of dollars, and
I like how Chris went from that, spend more money just to make a suit.
Exactly, you have to.
Instead of give away 25 million, give people $25 million worth of protection.
Instead of solving homelessness, spend that on this. Actually, no, I think that can actually work too. Thinking about it is like, yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
Well, you can't just have Batman kill all the homeless. That doesn't work.
Yeah,
I didn't mean it like that. Damn.
See, and I mean, we could talk about this and go back and forth on homelessness for ages, but the problem
What about
is
world hunger?
by just giving them a house or a roof over their head, that doesn't fix the reason for why they're homeless in the first place.
Yes.
And giving them money doesn't fix the reason for why they don't have money.
Mental health care is important because a lot of the homeless struggle with mental health too.
It's mental health, but it's also mentalities of if I don't do anything, I'll still be able to survive. So that's good enough.
Look, as a person who actually worked with the homeless, meaning like I've actually interacted with them on jobs, like actual jobs. I've talked to many homeless people throughout the years, and when I've talked to them, it's more of a lot of it is mental, but it's also psychologically lifestyle choice.
Yep.
Okay, because
they're nomadic people.
Right. It's a lifestyle choice, meaning they look at you as being the prisoner. See,
Yep.
Chris, you had to buy a house to put all your stuff in. See, I had to buy a house to put all my stuff in. We're the prisoners because we're the suckers who are paying money into the system, who are paying
Meanwhile,
taxes. Meanwhile, I just got all my stuff with me. I can go wherever the hell I
yep.
want. I'm free. I don't have to pay nothing.
I
So,
took a cart from that Walmart over there, and now I
yeah,
can go
and now
wherever the hell I want with whatever the hell I need.
there was a person, I don't remember the year, but it was a homeless person who died
Yeah.
in New York City Transit. And in their shopping cart, they found $1.3 million in cash. 1.3 million. There
I
was a
think I
book.
heard about that story.
Yeah, yeah. This is like just these are true stories. There was another man who used to come out on 94th Street, East 94th Street, every morning and beg for money. He would be out there with his can and his cup, and he would beg for money. Until one day somebody spotted him and followed him, and found out that he lived in the penthouse right downstairs from where he was begging for years, a $16 million penthouse. He got busted on the news doing this. I knew a guy personally when I was working at my old job who used
Professional
to
homeless.
come to a station, right? He used to come to the station, beg people for money, and it would be funny because the old timers would let him do it, but they would write him a ticket, and he didn't care because he was like, "Whatever, I just made all this money today, so I'll just pay this ticket. Have a nice day, guys." We'll start taking off his disguise, starts looking neat. He's like in a three-piece suit, getting into a
Mm-hmm.
brand new Lexus, driving away. I'm like, oh my god, these people are actors. Like some of them are just purely like this. It's a
Yep.
hustle. It's a scam. Like a lot of people are like this, like the homeless racket. It's I'm not saying that there's like a lot of people pretend to be homeless. What I'm saying is that homeless people in general, the mentality of it has nothing to do with your money. Because I also knew a retired homeless police officer that used to come to my station, and I used to let her in, and I never thought about checking the ID. So one day she showed me her ID, and I'm like, I was baffled because I'm like, this is one of us. What are you
Yep.
doing? And she turned, she goes, no, 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 I'm fine. I just had something going on me a couple years ago, and this is how I'm choosing to live my life, baby. I got my pension. I get to ride a train free. Thank you for being kind to me. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And this is a person that was a police officer, that has a pension, that has a gun, but decided and chose to live homeless.
Yep.
So
It's
what?
the easiest way to live off the grid.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's what it comes down to.
I'll be honest. If I really
Because
wanted to
nobody
be
checks your ID as a homeless person.
with everything that I know and the places I've been and the jobs I've had, I can completely not only live off the grid, but I can live in the grid, like within the system itself,
Yep.
and have places, complete places that are like apartments that'll have running electricity, TV, freaking showers,
Yep.
everything you can think of. I know these places because I've worked in a lot of them, so I discovered a lot of them. I have keys. I'm like a janitor. I'll show you my keys one day. I have like a freaking set of keys. Like it's like I call them the keys to the city. Like
Yeah.
one day when you come back to the city, Chris, I'm gonna blow your mind with these keys. You're gonna be like, "What the hell?" I'm gonna take you on some crazy ass adventures with these things. But yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people that live this way, it's a life choice, it's a
Yeah.
style, it's a lot of it's mental, a lot of it's just like feeling like you said, nomadically moving. And people live like this all throughout society, all throughout history. Look at the nomads of everywhere in any part of
Yep.
the world, and where you also had side by side with that a civilization that was settled down with cities and towns and places to trade and markets. Like it's always been this like that. You always have your nomadics. That's what the homeless people pretty much are. They're nomadic. They just call
Yeah.
them homeless because, in this country, I guess it was deemed 100 years ago that if you didn't have a house to live under, then you fall under this homeless condition. But you're
Yep.
really a nomad, a hobo. That's what they used to call them back in the days. The guys that used to jump on the box car riders, they used to jump on the box cars. This
Yeah.
this all goes back in culture. This is just the way humans have always lived. You
There's
just
even like a book series called The Boxcar Kids.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like anywhere you go where the circus was, even before we had them in the United States, it's the same way. These are nomadic people. I used to work in the carnival area. I used to work in Coney Island. I got to meet a lot of these people. So I know exactly the mentality of these people. It's just like I said, it's a lifestyle choice. It's just some people would just like they would try to meet the bridge and they would just get like a Winnebago and park that somewhere for a while until they got ticketed or whatever, or find that sweet spot where nobody's going to mess with them, or a private property they can park their stuff on, and they would just go from town to town, living like that, And I see a lot of like it seems like Alex when I look at the videos in California, like I see people with dope ass looking like those Winnebagos, but they just seem to have broken down there. Now they just can't leave. That's what it looks like to me. Like a lot of them were nice for a minute, and then they just broke down there. And then they, I will stay for a minute. And
we're getting close to that 2-hour mark, so I hate to cut you off, but I do want to.
No, we got to get to that 2-hour mark. We need this for fans. I'm just kidding.
I want to bring up the fact that Dakota Johnson said something after Madam Web came out, even a little bit before Madam Web came out, and said that audiences will always be able to sniff out bullshit. That was her exact quote. And she also said that audiences are going to be disgusted by AI content. She has been talking about AI writing AI content for about the past 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the past 3 months has been when Madam Web came out. Do you think that this movie was written by AI mainly? You think that's her kind of saying this is why movies are going to suck if we use AI?
I mean, if she's saying it like that, it's a possibility because no one wants to admit to doing this yet. But I gotta be honest. I know the technology very well to the point that I gotta be honest with you guys. Up until this update, it really can't write in that kind of, well, if they're saying what Madam Web turned out to be, then yeah, I take back what I just said. Totally believe 1,000,000%. It definitely wrote that movie because it's inconsistent. The way AI would write some craziness goes all over the place with no freaking structure. So yeah, I would honestly say that I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she was talking about. The green screen and technology, the fact that they were sitting in a warehouse and they were just told swing this way, go that way without no visuals or any kind of cues. So these are things like right. So, but also, that could be a hint as well because I don't know if you guys know how bad this was for Dakota Johnson, but she legitimately fired her PR representing agency. She fired her agents.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
she
I read about that.
Fired them like humiliatingly badly. She was just livid, and I don't blame her. That's their job. To look
I don't blame her for that at all.
Nope.
But she is one of the bright spots of this movie.
Yeah,
and I don't say that about her often.
Right. I mean,
she's an okay actress, but she is not the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
But the chemistry that she had with those other 3 girls was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many times we saw movies that the people had chemistry, but then the movie wind up sucking? Sometimes it's just like that.
All the time.
Yeah, you can just have this great chemistry and the movie can still suck. I mean,
Sharknado.
Yeah. Sharknado, baby. I'm telling you, man, like
I Legion Comics.
I just feel like she knows more than what she's saying, and that's a good thing that she's telling us this because she's been very vocal about this. But like I said, you gotta understand too. We all signed the NDCs, but there is things you can do to get around those NDCs and saying things like
how?
That. Well, what she just said.
Yeah.
NDC says they talk about AI. So she's not talking about AI in the movie. She's just talking about AI in general. There you go. AI is going to destroy this industry.
I'm going to start talking about this just at this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very vague about it.
Yeah. I'm talking from experience with no experience. Yep. That's exactly what she's saying. So
she said, this was an exact quote that she gave. My feeling has been for a long time that audiences are extremely smart and executives have started to believe that they're not. Audiences will always be able to sniff out bullshit, and even if films start to be made with AI, which is basically, in my opinion, her alluding to the fact that this film was made with AI. Even if films start to be made with AI, audiences will not show up for those movies.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say honestly, who knows what the future will hold with that. I would say that right now, what people don't understand is like the AI is not that great to where you gotta worry about writing a whole movie, but this
Yeah.
thing's growing every month. It's growing. It's just getting stronger and stronger. Skynet is growing stronger every month. I'm
Man, I don't want the
what
Terminator to come out yet.
children of the today years, please go get the Terminator 1984, the original one. Please go watch another movie, 1984. Wasn't made in 1984 though, but
Yo,
they don't
1984
know.
is a good movie.
That's what I'm saying. Eh, go with this Terminator from 1984, but before that, watch 1984. That was
Actually,
made.
no, read the book 1984,
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
then
no, no,
watch the
no,
movie.
I was
no,
gonna
no.
say, read the book.
You're asking
Read
too
the
much.
book is much better.
No, no, you're asking too much. There's no pictures in the book. Please, please. I know
Listen
what I'm
to the
talking
book
about.
on tape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, read
No,
the
no.
graphic novel. Read the graphic novel
You
of
have to watch.
1984. Those are
You
the
have to
graphic
watch the
novel.
movie.
Go
You have to
download
watch the
Audible. It will do it for you.
Illegally download Audible. Then
Listen, just bring me the book. I'll read it to you for free.
go to Spy Slayer's YouTube channel. You have a live next Friday. He'll read every single word, do every single voice, and he'll act it out with puppets.
I
Quit.
honestly wonder
Yes.
if I started a YouTube channel based on just content created by AI and created based on what AI says it should be created about, what how well would that YouTube channel do?
Well, I'm gonna be honest
Uh,
with you. With the new rules that are set in place right now, it looks like YouTube is taking a very hard stance against AI. So all these people that are building these AI channels right now may not be able to be using these channels for much longer on the YouTube platform. Not
Yeah.
saying you can't transfer to other platforms, but just be ready for that, people. Don't rely on this whole AI thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use it. I mean, it's a great tool. I'm not saying not to use it. But what I'm saying is that we need to be clear on the guidelines of what can be used because I know they were getting harsh with these AI tech.
Yeah.
And I know that from personal experience. Not that they ever flagged me or anything. But I did notice like when I was doing like some AI animating and just to throw it up there to see, and sometimes it would do good, and then it got to a point where it almost killed my channel. I was like, okay. So I was starting to see where the writing on the wall is going for at least YouTube. I
Yeah.
think they wanted to keep their stuff distinguishable, and this is why they're pushing in this direction. But we never
Well,
know. In a couple of months, anything can change. You know,
YouTube has always been like the place where true creators have gone.
right? And I don't think they see this as a true creation.
Yeah.
Meaning, not saying that you can't create with AI, but what we're doing right now, this is human interaction. You
Yep.
can't make this with AI. And if you did make it with AI, all you're just doing is just wasting time because
who knows? We might not even be real. It's
wait
all
a
just
minute.
maybe asking.
Well, we don't know if Alex is real. All I see is a gorilla
This
that's
this
lighting
could
up.
be
Hey yo, what's
Futurama.
up,
Yeah,
homies?
no, he's real.
I like
He's
the
real.
hair.
Yeah, I
Thank
like
you. I'm actually growing out my hair.
I was gonna say it's
Oh yeah,
definitely
that's right,
longer than
Chris. The
last
last time,
time.
the last time you saw me, or when you first met me, my hair was short.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm growing it out.
Looks
good. Let
good.
it get long, man. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
then I could get bangs on. Yes. See, everyone knows I'm real now. I check out my Hulk
There we
poster.
go.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Can I just give a quick update before we go? I just wanted to tell you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so check it out, everyone. I got a couple of updates, and I'm gonna probably make a video this weekend because
Wait, you having a baby?
no. Updates
Oh,
to my
okay.
symbiotic book 2. So what happened was originally I wrote the book out, everything was fine. Waylon did a great job with the art, and I started doing some art panel designing that it's gonna blow your socks. But I wind up
What if I don't wear socks? Oh, yeah,
don't
that's my
matter.
last comment.
It wind up being 42 pages, which is way too long. So I devised an idea and this is what I'm working on now. So what I did was I was able to trim down the story, meaning that every book that I'm writing from this point on is going to have an origin story, like to each character that you meet. The problem was I kind of when I wrote the origin story, I kind of go back into it in the story anyway. So what I decided to do was I'm going to be designing each character is going to have its own action trading card that's going to have a QR code on the back that's going to allow you to scan that QR code that's going to take you to a site that's going to let you read the original first 6 pages that was supposed to be in Symbiotic Book 2, but I put it into a trade card, and I'm going to do this with all my characters from now on. So after taking those pages out, which that'll be available probably before the comic, because I have everything set up right now, and I'm working on the QR code and how to take care of the QR code and to download the files. I got to PTF it and put it into a QR code. So the idea is to take those cards, they're going to get printed and take a QR code to put that into the art in the back of the card so that when you buy that card, you'll be able to scan that and then read the origin story of that said character. So
That's cool. I like that
That'd be
idea.
great marketing.
I mean, I got a picture here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I made it dim, so that's like going to be like the card of
Awesome.
of book 2. That will be called Symbiotic Faust Origins, and in this card, you're going to be able to scan the back, and it's going to say what his set is. He's a psychic. He's a psychic, and I call him Spies in my universe.
You should make a trading card game too.
Yeah,
That'd be so dope.
I plan to try to make this kind of like a Pokemon card in the future because of their power sets kind of fall into the Pokemon world. I didn't even realize
I choose you.
Cause my Einstein, he's what I call an electro, which is like an electric person. And now this guy's a psychic, and I have another one that's coming, and that's what book 2 is going to be leading into. So anyway, I wind up getting the book finished, literally proofreading it, going over it, editing it, tightening everything up. It took me 3 weeks. I just pretty much went through every page, renumbered everything. So this next comic that's coming out, it's going to be called Symbiotic Book 2, The Book of Faust, and it's going to have 36 pages. I was able to condense it down to 36 pages, and it's going to be amazing. So right now, I'm going to be calling the printer tomorrow. So next week, we are definitely going to print. It was just me getting all the panels together, and now I'm going to put them all together for PTF formatting, and that will be over the weekend. So all that will be done. Hopefully the comic, my mini comics will be done as well. So I'm going to have all updates with that. But yeah, I'm finished with the comic, and it's going to go to print definitely by Monday. And hopefully I should have this available within the next 2 to 3 weeks for sure. So that's all the updates I have. And I'm very excited about this, guys. And I showed you some of my panels. So I showed you guys some of my panels already. Yeah. So I'm telling you, what I did with this book, I feel like right now, this book is going to revolutionize how people make comics forever. Because I did something amazing. Like, I didn't just use art and use good art. I used everything and designed an entire art. I used every freaking inch of the page and try to make it a piece of art. Something that most people I've never seen ever do. So I got this unique idea, and I'm telling you, I've given it to enough people. I showed you guys. Everybody was like, this panel looks crazy. Looks amazing. Like they've never seen anything like this before. So that's the style I wanted to have. And 36 pages, it's going to be lit, this book, and I'm going to offer like a set too. Like what I'm going to do is it's going to be a $9.99 book, but if you want, but for a limited time when I do have everything on sale, I'm going to throw in to the first like 100 people that card for free. I was going to sell that card for like $3. I put it in for free with the kit, so you're going to get the book and you're going to get the trading card with the set. It's going to be lit when I do it, guys. So I can't wait. And and also, the printer that I found, I am going to make 100 copies of that cover in a chromium foil cover finish. Yeah, I know how to make them, man. That's it. I'm done talking about that. So I'll keep you guys apprised, but next week we go over to printing, and that's it, man. This book
probably. Ooh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I love the first week.
I love the first issue, so I can't wait for the second issue to come out.
Yeah, I know,
first issue is amazing.
Thank you, guys. And trust me when I tell you, if you really like the first issue, which I gave myself a B, the second one's going to blow your mind. Trust me, I'm telling you, I put so much work into this. I'm so excited about this. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. Goosebumps, baby. Yeah.
Have a good night, everyone. I appreciate
night,
you guys
everyone.
staying on.
Nice seeing
Thank
you
you,
again.
everyone.
Peace.
See ya.
Peace and love, everyone. We are out.
Definitely.